conversation about the end of the court day. Just surprised. That's all. So with that, later today, I will go look at the split screen between Howell's testimony and seeing Whitney Enriquez's face in court. I will go look for that. We're going to just leave the court feed up while I answer questions because it's interesting to watch what's going on in court.
Hello, everybody. Check. How's everyone doing in the chat? We are going to be doing a recap of today's trial. Let's let the chat populate. We've been watching multiple different live streams. I'm going to get into it. Excuse me, right now. Let's go to, let's just see what we have here from earlier in the day.
With 95,
I'm going to see who we can look at. We had a lot of interesting testimony today, surprise witnesses, and we're just going to kind of review it all. The voicemail line is open, and you know what else I'm going to do is I'm going to put some music on. We're gonna put some music on here while we listen to some recaps. So maybe there's some happy music we can play. Let's do some happy instrumental music right there. Thanks to our pals at Epidemic Sound, not a sponsor. All right, that's too loud. There we go. You know what I'll do is I'll put this over here. All right. Hello, everyone in the chat. Dave Neal here, comic, host, Dave Neal Show. We've got some testimony to sift through
at that time, which include,
from earlier today.
All the alleged comparable actors here score at an average of 17, and you can see, again, she is 9, well below that. And then on the right side, you're going to see the negative Q scores. So this is how much people dislike you.
Plum's mom, hello, how are you? Oh, Abby, I never responded to you. I'm going to text you right now, Abby.
The lowest at an 8, but you can see Miss Heard is
I might not have the
28, which was quite a difference. A 20-point difference.
You know what, Abby? I don't have the tech right now to send you a link, but we're going to definitely get you a link. Maybe tomorrow if you're around. We'll talk.
Her positive score is very low, and her negative score is very high, which tells me that she does not fit in as a comparable.
So the big witness was Jennifer Howell, and we didn't hear much. So let's jump ahead to Jennifer Howell. This was supposed to be the big witness I personally was looking forward to. She is Amber Heard's sister's boss. We've been talking about her all week. Her deposition tape was cut to pieces, right? So like something clearly happened there where she didn't, I don't know why they wouldn't share any of this evidence, but there's evidence where she said she had 20 people. Let me play this and I'm going to pull up the evidence.
The record. Jennifer Howell, Los Angeles, California. And what is your current occupation? I run the Art of Elysium, CEO of the Art of Elysium. Let me just go back. Now, you've indicated that Whitney lived with you from January 2015 May 2015 to April 2016. Are you absolutely certain about those dates?
I am certain, yes. She came and went at different periods, but all of her stuff moved out of my house April 2016.
And I'm sorry, did you say you were 100% certain of that? Ms. Hall, could you answer my question?
Yes, she did go back to Amber and Johnny's at different points, but she was still living with me during that time.
The question I asked, because you were talking at the same time Ms. Vasquez was giving an objection, was I believe that you said you were 100% certain of those dates. Is that correct?
Same with me.
So that's where it ends. It just ends all of a sudden. We're going to have to show this with you to you guys here and really break down what went down, why we didn't get any more of this testimony. Of course, we can only speculate here. I'm going to pull up the Twitter thread. Jennifer Howell is a resilient bastion of truth. Amber Heard abused her own sister. In March 2015, she threw things at and punched Johnny Depp, not in defense of her baby sister. Whitney was trying to stop her assault on Johnny, not the other way around. Jennifer Howell testifying. Howell is a hero. she ever needs anything from me after all the hate Amber Heard showed her, I'm in. Anyway, Jennifer Howell just testified how Amber Heard has lied under oath regarding donations, and Whitney is lying to protect her sister. But there was still so much left out of that testimony. Let's go back and see if there's anything that we missed.
That you are the CEO for Art of Elysium. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And are you still currently in that position?
Yes, I am.
And how long have you been the CEO for Art of Elysium?
I am the founder of the organization. So we did our first workshop in August of 1997, filed the legal paperwork in February of 98 to set up a 501c3. So I guess since the beginning of the charity.
Ms. Howell, when did you first meet Amber Heard?
At the Pineapple Express premiere is where I met she and her sister Whitney.
Do you remember approximately what year that was?
I believe it was around 2008. I'm sure that could be pulled. It was the LA premiere. I think there was probably multiple premieres, but it was the Los Angeles premiere of Pineapple Express.
Hey, Sarah, thank you so much for the super sticker, $5 from Sarah. Thank you so much.
Was Ms. Heard there with Mr. Depp?
No, this was long before. I was a guest of James Franco, and Amber was in the movie. And so I met she and her sister at to be specific, at the after party of the premiere.
After the party, it's the after
Did
party.
Ms. Henriquez end up working for Art of Elysium at some point?
Yes, she did.
What year did Ms. Henriquez begin working with Art of Elysium?
I believe it was in 2014. I don't have those documents right in front of me. I believe it was leading into the year Amber was receiving the award.
So again, this is the deposition we're hearing from Amber Heard's sister, Whitney's former boss, Jennifer Howell. After we share the deposition, I'm going to share other evidence that they didn't let into the trial, which is just, I don't know why they didn't let it in, but they got in what they got in. Will it be enough?
And what was Miss Henriquez's position at Art of Elysium?
Art salon manager, director.
Does Miss Henriquez still work for Art of Elysium?
No.
Let me ask the comment section a question. Would you, yes or no question, would you lie for a sibling or close family member under oath? Be honest. Let me know. Would you lie for a close family member under oath? I'd love to know, because I like to think that I would. Maybe not in a case like this, but if there was a lie that needed to be told, maybe this will be used against me in future years. I'll be I'll be deposed in some high profile trial, and they'll pull back something like, on May 24th, 2022, you said you would lie for a sibling. And I'm like, I can understand that there would be circumstances where I would lie for a sibling. Maybe if there's a harmless lie. Angel and Lori said, nope. Come on, someone be brave. Hey, Tasha, would you lie for a sibling? Would you lie under oath to keep someone out of jail or something? I don't know if she can hear me. All right, Siobhan Manning said yes, and then B. Bean said never. Angie said yes. All right, whoever said yes are the people telling the truth. The other people haven't imagined a scenario in which they would lie.
That end.
2015, I believe.
Each time you saw Mr. Depp, did you ever see him doing any illicit, illegal drugs?
Never.
Did you ever see him consuming excessive amounts of alcohol?
Objection. Never.
Did you ever see Mr. Depp appear intoxicated?
No.
All right, so here's the hypothetical. Would you lie for a sibling or close family member, a dad or a son, brother, sister? Would you lie for a sibling if it meant you would keep them out of jail and no one else would be hurt by that lie? So not a lie where someone, did something egregious to somebody else, but would you lie under oath if it kept them out of jail?
Did Ms. Heard ever show you photographs of depicting injuries on her face or body?
No.
Did Ms. Heard ever tell you that Mr. Depp was abusive towards her?
No.
Mr. Depp paying your legal fees?
I love the answers.
Ms. Howell, for this deposition and the testimony you've provided in the UK action?
He is not.
All right, so we don't have any reason for Jennifer Howell to be lying. Johnny Depp's not paying for it. She's getting nothing out of it. And she's spoken out. I'm going to play the rest of this, but I'm going to introduce evidence that they didn't let, which I've been sharing all week, which is fascinating. Jennifer Howell has known Amber Heard for many years. Jennifer testified about Johnny risking his life at the hand of Amber Heard and about Amber abusing her sister. So here's what one of the things Jennifer said. This is, I think, in reference to the UK trial from a few years ago. I was recently subpoenaed into a court case to tell the truth, and I did so. Verdict came down on Monday, and the actual truth was destroyed by an unjust system. I share this now because I want to have faith in truth, dignity, love, and integrity ultimately winning. My heart has been broken during this process as I have lost faith in so many people who have claimed to be moral and good yet lack the integrity to tell the truth when it might be an inconvenience for them. Those same people have contacted old employees of the charity and told them not to speak to attorneys and to dodge subpoenas, have questioned my integrity for actually telling the truth when I was called to do so, and much more. Heartbreaking to lose faith in people. I write this as I am trying not to lose faith in humanity, in justice, and in the greater good. I feel my experience is a microcosm of what is playing out in this election. Truth and goodness have to win in the end. This is from a couple of years ago. Now, she had her home broken into last week, and she has wondered out loud if this is witness intimidation or whatnot.
Who is?
Myself.
Do you feel any particular sense of loyalty towards Mr. Depp?
None at all.
Do you feel any sense of loyalty towards Ms. Heard?
None at all.
Ms. Howell, do you recognize this check as the check that the Art of Elysium received on behalf of Ms. Heard for a donation, an anonymous donation of $250,000?
Yes. Yes.
I believe you testified previously that you understood that the anonymous donor was Elon Musk. Is that true?
Yes.
If I could please have Exhibit 4 brought up. And for the record, it's base stamp JH 22 through 29.
All right, so apparently Angie is one of the only people, Caitlin, that said they would lie for someone. Look, I think I think we're just not introducing the exact hypothetical, but I think we all have a place where we would go where we could negotiate bending of the truth to protect somebody. I'm not saying that you know whatever. The point being is I think it's easy to say no and it's harder to say yes, right? That's all. All right, 700 in the chat. Hit the like button.
Put 4.
If anyone wants to leave a voicemail, the voicemail line is open. Let me find it here. There's the voicemail line, 401-213-9828. Feel free to call in. Let me know what you think.
Do you recognize this document, Ms. Howell? And if you need to scroll through the 8 pages, feel free.
Can you scroll down?
So I wish they would say more, but there's so much not being said. And so I'm trying to pull up the information for you guys that was left out today. Jennifer Howell, associated Instagram account, talks karma as Depp trial comes to an end here. Let's see if we can find this right here. Jennifer Howell. So let's just see her Instagram and see what she's saying. I mean, she's probably private, right? No, maybe not. Let's give her a follow. There she is. So what did she post yesterday? home. We're all going home, and the road to get there is different for each of us. Somehow I believe that deep down in our soul, we all know where we are returning to. Karma comes for us all, and she is not a one lifetime kind of vixen. Wow. So there she is. That's the polite way of saying karma is a bitch. Hey, thanks so much for the subscribers. I'm getting the notifications on my screen. BLD, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Lots of content coming your way. Just sifting through a lot of the different pieces of information that were left out today. So here's Jennifer Howell's declaration. Again, this was not allowed in this court case. I have learned that, but this was a sworn declaration. I have learned that Whitney testified in court July 23rd in London about a violent incident in March 2015 on the stairs at Johnny Depp's penthouse. She testified that Johnny supposedly hit Amber and Whitney on the stairs at Johnny's downtown penthouse. Now, Kate Moss is going to come tomorrow and be, I think, going to Skype in from London and share that she was never pushed down the stairs by Johnny Depp, as was the rumor that was floated by Amber Heard. Then Whitney, this is from Jennifer Howell, Whitney's former boss. Then Whitney said she had to go live with her employer where she had to sleep on their floor. I am that employer. This is not what I was told to be true. The declaration continued. First, Whitney came to live in the guest room of my apartment on Wilshire Boulevard, not on my floor, but in my guest room. Second, when Whitney arrived, she was a mess. Whitney told me she tried to stop her sister Amber from hitting and attacking Johnny on the stairs. Whitney said when she tried to intervene to stop Amber from going after Johnny, Amber nearly pushed Whitney down the stairs. She told me she was worried Amber was going to kill Johnny. While Amber Heard has denied being violent in her relationships, the declaration asserts that Jennifer Howell was told by Enriquez, which is Whitney, that the alleged violent scenes between the now exes were a continuation of the abuse she had endured for several years. Whitney Heard Enriquez told me she had endured that kind of abuse her entire life. First from her father and then from Amber, who she said was extremely violent. Again, this is a sworn statement. She lived with me because she did not feel she could go back to live at Johnny in Heard's penthouse. My father reminded me this morning that I told him that Whitney had moved in with me because she was terrified of her sister. The declaration lists a host of other allegations, including claims that Enriquez, Amber's sister, stated while at work that Heard had cut off Depp's finger. Heard has denied Depp's allegation that this occurred, accusing him of doing it himself. You know, it's one thing to have a ticky-tacky, he said, she said. We're talking about a finger being cut off. Can we get down to who cut the finger off? Why was none of this in today's deposition? Because I guess it would be considered hearsay. Is that right? I'm not a legal expert. Let's continue with what was said, although it was not much.
Yeah, I recognize that.
And what is this?
That is an email, I believe, I sent to Whitney.
Scrolling up to the first page of this attachment, who is Marcel
Pariseau?
Sure, Pariseau.
He is one of my oldest friends in Los Angeles.
Oh, I just saw a super chat from Michelle. 79 Czar. I don't know what Czar is, but I'm going to look it up. Thank you so much.
Biggest confidants here in LA, kind of for the course of my
that's
career.
the South African. Oh, thank you so much. I just got a 79 South African Rand donation, which is $5. Thank you so much for that.
Is this an email, Ms. Howell, that you sent to Whitney Henriquez on or about Tuesday, July 28th, 2020 at 11:02 a.m.?
It is.
Is this a true and accurate copy of an email exchange that you sent to Ms. Henriquez?
Yes, I believe I'm the one who gave that. Yes, it is.
And then did you forward this email exchange and the
All
attachments.
right, now this is okay. So I'm going to cut away from this testimony right here. Being sent some pretty wild information right now. Kind of feel like we might even need the breaking news button, but this is getting very fascinating, and you guys are catching it live with me right now. So we're about to get right into it. We have some breaking news happening right now. It's being reported. Now let me go forward all the way to where this is at, but it's being reported just moments ago. TMZ seeks emergency order blocking disclosure of who leaked the video of Johnny Depp in 2015 after Johnny Depp lists former TMZ producer Morgan Tremaine on his witness list in the Amber Heard trial. So it could be, in this case, we find out who leaks. Now this could be big. Now, obviously, TMZ, whether you like them or not, by the way, stands for 30 Mile Zone. The 30 Mile Zone, which I think is the zone around Los Angeles, from LAX, I could be wrong. 30 Mile Zone here, TMZ. Smut rag, still journalism, and journalists in the past have gone to jail, as opposed to sharing who their sources are. You're never supposed to reveal your source. But does this count as a source? Figuring out who leaked the information? If it's proven. Now, what we know is that this video that we've seen of Johnny Depp, he's basically slamming a bunch of doors. It's very emo. I mean, I feel like he should be listening to some like Green Day, I don't know. I don't mean to make light of these problems that they're having, but he's slamming doors and it's not a good look for him. Amber Heard takes this video. It looks like she recorded it from her purse, right? And then all of a sudden, after their divorce or whenever, it's on TMZ. So how does it go from Amber's phone to TMZ? Now, she could have sent it to friends. They could have leaked it. Absolutely. She denies receiving money from TMZ, but that doesn't mean she didn't send it. It would be very interesting to find out that she, if she did, sent this video to TMZ. And again, we don't know if that's the case, but thank you for whoever sent that in to me. I appreciate it. Let's go back to this testimony, this riveting deposition.
Yeah, I asked him to keep it for me.
Why did you send this email and letter to Miss Enriquez?
Because I've struggled very much with what to do in a situation that I love someone who I know is doing something very wrong, and I know that they're doing it because they're trying to protect their sister, and I'm trying to protect her, and I'm just trying to get her to wake up and do the right thing, which is tell the truth. It's the only thing that can help everybody involved in this case.
Ms. Howell, do you recall submitting a witness statement in the United Kingdom?
Yeah, they basically just called to verify the witness statement that was submitted previously.
Which we just read for you, part of it.
And do you recognize this document to be the witness statement and the declaration that you submitted in the UK? And if you want
now, they, for whatever reason, they talked about the letter that Jennifer sent to Whitney Heard, but they didn't share it. I'm going to read that for you guys right now. We just had 1,000 people in the chat. Thank you guys all so much for joining the chat. I really appreciate you. As everybody knows, these chats have been instantly demonetized. What does that look like, Dave? Well, I'll show you. It looks like this. This is instant demonetization. Demonetization. So that means that we don't receive ad revenue, and we don't know why. I always request a review, and a day later it usually gets greenlit, but that's after we would have made any money off of it. Again, not a big deal, but just letting you guys know that we do appreciate all of your super chats. So here's the email that Jennifer Howell sent to Whitney. Oh, I don't even have my lights on. Here's the email that Jennifer Howell sent to Whitney in 2020 after finding out that Whitney was going to testify on behalf of her sister. Johnny Depp had the same issue. They looked at Whitney and they go, we're all projecting here, but they looked at Whitney and they go, you don't have to stick up for the bully. You don't have to stick up for her if she's tormented you. B Bean says only 142 likes. Yeah, that's right. Hit the like button an odd number of times, preferably one, but do what you need to do. You can call the voicemail line right over there, 401-213-9828. Let me know who you think's going to win. Did the ball move closer to Johnny Depp's direction today? There was a surprise witness. We're going to get into that in a minute, but let me read this for you guys right now, and we will kind of bounce around this information. I'll play a little background music for you while I read this. All right, here's a letter from Jennifer Howell to Whitney Heard that, I don't know, did I miss something? We didn't see this in court, right? The email that was sent. They referenced it, but they didn't show it. From Jennifer Howell to Whitney Heard. I need to catch my breath. Dear Whitney, this is one of the most important letters that I've ever written in my life. I asked to write a letter to you in my own words after receiving 2 subpoenas yesterday to give testimony of my knowledge of what happened to lead you to stay with me after leaving the Eastern Columbia building in the penthouses of Amber and Johnny. The reason this letter is so important to me is that you, my chosen sister, are so important to me, and I'm hoping that the truth will set you free from a lifetime of abuse and being forced to live someone else's life instead of given the freedom to live your own. Angel, thank you so much. I get an objective, Your Honor. Dave's videos should be monetized. That's an objective on my end. Angel with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much for that. I feel that I am writing this on behalf of everyone who loves you and wants to help save you from, yet again, fighting a battle that is not yours to fight. Now, I remind you guys, Jennifer Howell doesn't have any business picking sides in this. She has no business. She's not being paid to testify. She's not an expert or any of that. She's just Whitney's former boss. Hello, 1,100 people in the chat. 191 likes. Keep hitting the like button and we will get pushed up the chain over there at the old YouTube algorithm. Where did I leave off? Outside of Google alerts for the charity and what is the media circus going on right now, I have been unaware of the ins and outs of what is happening between Amber and Johnny. It was brought to my attention that you made reference to Amber kicking you out of the penthouses and went to live on your boss's floor. I don't think it took them too long to connect the dots and figure out who your boss was at that time. I have been trying to catch myself up to speed on everything, and I'm afraid that there are different storylines between what I shared and what you shared. I spoke with Adam Waldman this morning, I believe that was Johnny's lawyer, and was asked some questions and answered honestly with my account of the situations. Just so you know, Adam was respectful, kind, and understood my allegiance, and all of this is up to you and you alone. I have never been more upset during any of this drama than I am right now at the thought of Amber asking you to leave Gavin and Hunter to go to London and entangle you in all of this. I'm assuming that's Whitney's kids, maybe son and husband. If you feel that you have been asked or compromised in any way to do anything that might perjure yourself, I beg you to recant. And for once in your life, think of yourself first. You have found an incredible man and have this beautiful and amazing child. And if anyone would ever put you in a position to risk that, they do not love you. I have shared the names of the other staff at the Art of Elysium who were on board with you, were there and heard your account of these situations. While you were there and heard your accounts of these situations. I'm not sure if they will be subpoenaed, but their names have been submitted to the record. I hope you know that the little family created during your time at the Art of Elysium all love you very, very, very much. It crushes my soul knowing that you may hate me for the rest of your life and never speak to me again. Losing your friendship is something that I'm willing to risk if it frees you, Hunter and Gavin, from all of this and allows you to build your family and your life for you and you alone. You have been my every prayer, every thought, and every consideration. The letter continues. I need to have a sip of water. Losing it. Okay. I stated while being questioned that I do not have dates nor timelines because when you showed up to stay with me, I never thought twice about giving you a home and was happy to provide you with my guest room and have you in the safety of my place. I never wrote down when you moved in nor when you left because my home was and will always be your home. I have entered to record that I am happy to share any text messages, emails, or anything that they need from that time to help appropriately piece together specific dates and an accurate timeline. You told me, I'm just going to read the highlighted part. You told me and others on staff that you tried to stop Amber from attacking Johnny and nearly got thrown down the stairs. Father reminded me this morning that I told him that Whitney had moved in with me because she was terrified of her sister. You did not know why he was staying in it, nor why he was putting up with Amber's abuse. You shared with me the damage endured by both of you as children and the injury you had suffered from Amber both psychologically and physically. Amber freaked out, attacked you, and threw a wine glass full of red wine at you in the elevator. All right. Is there more? There's more. While Amber and Johnny were in Australia, you were in the office sitting in the black and white chairs near the kitchen and loudly proclaimed, "Oh my God, she has done it now. She has cut off his flipping finger." If James were asked anything at all, that I know without a shadow of a doubt that he would speak to the truth. When I came to see you and meet Hunter is when the conversation with you and your mom took place. I told him I had been told that Elon had gifted Teslas, but Elon's gifting Teslas? Boy, can you imagine? Everyone's like, oh, online dating sucks. Imagine meeting Elon and you getting a free Tesla. All right, there's the spark you could look for. Chemistry, electricity. But Amber found out that they were bugged. Well, that's interesting. Amber found out that the Tesla that Elon gifted her were bugged. Bugged meaning tracking devices or audio devices. I was told that Amber said he was controlling, abusive, and that she was in a legal battle with him over the rights to embryos that they had created together. He wanted to destroy them, rightfully, and Amber tried to keep them to have a baby. This is the day that your mother told me that Johnny was either an angel or a saint compared to Elon. Abby said, was the letter already entered into the record? Abby, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this letter is in the record. This letter to me is, it's not. Now look, here's the deal, right? Whitney could have lied about all of this to her boss, but why would have, chances are you take people at their truth, and this information came out years ago. Your thoughts on Rocky freeloading off of Amber and then freeloading off of Johnny, and your overall thoughts on Rocky. The Art of Elysium had been used in press during the divorce, and I had been asked on multiple occasions to write letters regarding Amber's volunteering with the charity. And no donation came into the Art of Elysium, but went to Children's Hospital LA and the ACLU that Amber's publicist told me that they were more prominent. Now, as we know, those charities never had donations sent to them. We found out today that Amber did donate $250,000 of what was supposed to be $7 million. So, that's 1/4 out of 1/7. So what's that? 1/28? How are my math wizards out there? Is that good? The two of you have literally been through hell together, and I know you would do anything in the world for her. She is your older sister. You just lost your mother, and you are a mom for the first time. It is time she thought of you and your needs and put them above her own needs. Asking you or even agreeing to have you leave your husband and child and involve you in all of this is selfish beyond comprehension. You, Whitney, are worthy of love, worthy of being seen for all of your light and beauty, and worthy of not having to clean up another mess that is not yours. People have to be willing to come forward with the truth. It took 2 subpoenas to get me to be forthcoming with what I have been told, but I do believe in people and feel others who have bear witness. Okay, and that's where I think it ends. We didn't get the last piece of that there. So that's information that I don't think is in record. I could be wrong. We'll find out. All right, let's go back to the deposition here.
Yes, I recognize it.
So, for those new to the chat, Abby Thomason is our resident legal expert here. And she says, with those statements in the letter, it's actually 2 layers of hearsay and would need exceptions for both levels to come in. Now, obviously, the court of public opinion is different than the court of law. So the court of law, while I appreciate why they would keep that out, it's too bad. It's too bad that that's information that would help people understand Whitney's motivation to lie. I think the judges will be able to, I think the jury will be able to piece that all together, though.
First page, do you see a date on this document?
January 13th, 2021.
And is this document a true and accurate copy of the declaration that you submitted in the UK proceeding on or about January 13th, 2021?
Yes.
And are all the statements in your UK declaration accurate and true?
Yes, I signed it. Yes.
All right, let's pull up what I believe was Depp Exhibit 9. It's been marked as Depp Exhibit 9.
All right, so while we wait for that, we've got some voicemails coming in saying that Elon Musk paid people off. Let's listen.
Yo, Dave, this is Rick from La Crescenta.
Hey, Rick.
I think Elon Musk paid all the witnesses off. just so we can get another Pirates of the Caribbean movie
You got it. You got it, Rick.
Just so we can get another Pirates of the Caribbean movie made. Yeah, so that's my opinion. Elon Musk paid everybody off, all the witnesses, just so Johnny Depp can make another Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Boy, imagine being that rich. Imagine being that rich. All right, well, speaking of rich, he had one more voicemail.
Yeah, hey Dave, this is Richard from Hollywood, California, out where the movie stars live. Now, I think Elon Musk paid all the witnesses.
Okay, same voicemail, different. Okay, let's go to Ohio. We have Stan.
Hey, Dave, this is Stan from Ohio.
It sounds like the same person every time.
I was just wanting to tell you how great of a show you're doing. And, by the way, it's Fred from Ohio, and you still don't know nothing. Ah!
I like it. I actually like Fred from Ohio. I don't know what his medication is, but I actually enjoy his voicemails.
Hi, Dave Neal. It's Cherie from Hollywood.
Cherie from Hollywood.
We just found out that Johnny's not going to testify, but
Bummer.
we also found out that Kate Moss is going to testify probably on Wednesday. I know you're all up in all the business and you know all this stuff, but like, I just wanted to share this. Thank you for all your work you're doing, and thank you, and have a good night.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, I've actually got a video that's going to be going live as soon as this live stream is over, called "How Kate Moss Testimony May Seal the Deal." That video is coming live to you guys as soon as this live chat ends. But yes, Kate Moss will testify tomorrow about how she wasn't pushed down the stairs, and maybe she'll just be a character witness for Johnny Depp there. But speaking of Johnny Depp's team. Here's Ben Chu. Ben Chu wearing Hollywood Vampires merch. As we know, Ben Chu is his. Look, I'm sure they're excited. You know, you hate to glamorize court life, but look at these guys. They're exhausted. They're finishing 6 weeks of trial, years built up to this, and then it's all going to just come down. I mean, they'll probably, if they lose, maybe they'll, who knows what'll happen after we get the verdict. But there's got to be some sort of summer camp vibes. By the way, I have friend requested Camille Vasquez, and she has not responded yet. Just if you guys were wondering, not responded on Instagram. But, we're just trying to, crack any codes we can here. All right, let's go back to the deposition. I got a lot of tabs open in life. Let's go back to the deposition. Voicemail line is open, 401-213-9828. Feel free to call the voicemail line and let me know what you think.
9.
We have a Fred is obsessed with Dave trend happening. All right, give it to us. I don't get why. Look, they edit so much out of the deposition. Why do they keep this dead air?
Is how earlier you were showing.
Like, give us some production value here. The whole world's watching.
On this document, scrolling to the end of it.
Can you go? Okay.
There.
Mm-hmm.
Did Mr. Waldman assist you in drafting this email?
Absolutely not.
Of course, this is the email.
Did you speak with Mr. Waldman?
This is the email that I just read to you guys.
All about drafting this email?
About writing an email? No. I did that on my own accord.
Did you speak with Mr. Waldman at all about contacting the ACLU?
I do not recall having a conversation with him about that.
And Ms. Howell, you testified earlier that you received a check from Fidelity Charitable in January of 2018. Is that correct?
I don't know if I said the date, but yes, I received an anonymous donation from that check that was submitted. Whatever it's on there, I just don't know the date off the top of my head.
And you testified that there was a letter sent along with that that said that it was in honor of Amber Heard?
Yes. Richard, I was guaranteed 20 minutes with him after being attacked for 3
All right, here's where it gets very strange. She goes on this rant. Now, of course, some of this has been objected to and clipped up, and I don't know. But she goes on this rant here, and we don't really know what she's talking about. So maybe you guys can help me break this down. It just ends. She goes on a rant and then it ends. She goes, I was promised 20 minutes, this and that. It'll be interesting to see if she comments at all on social media about the aspects of this deposition that wasn't admitted into the trial.
There. Mm-hmm. Did Mr. Waldman assist you in drafting this email?
Absolutely not.
Did you speak with Mr. Waldman at all about drafting this email?
About writing an email? No. I did that on my own accord.
Let's get some ladies to call in.
Did you speak with Mr. Waldman at all about contacting the ACLU?
I do not recall having a conversation with him about that.
And
Abby, I'll let you know if Camille accepts my request. Maybe we can invite her to a stand-up show.
From Fidelity Charitable in January of 2018, is that correct?
I don't know if I said the date.
Still
yes,
requested.
I received an anonymous donation from that check that was submitted. Whatever it's on there, I just don't know the date off the top of my head.
And you testified that there was a letter sent along with that.
Bruce said, Your Honor, I request a break. I need to friend Dave on Instagram. Yeah, can we please get some, she's probably got her hands full right now.
Richard, I was guaranteed 20 minutes with him after being
Here it is.
attacked for 3.5 hours by your side the last time. So
She says I was guaranteed 20 minutes after being attacked for 3.5 hours by Elaine's side, Amber Heard's side. So did she get the 20 minutes? Oh, we just lost it. Oh my gosh, I just lost it. Where did it go? Here it is.
Exhibit 9.
Go to the end here.
Richard, I was guaranteed 20 minutes with him after being attacked for 3.5 hours by your side the last time. So I am going to stick by what I was told before entering this and what your side agreed to.
And then it just ends. What the hell?
All right, your next witness.
What the hell? Now, Day by Day said, Camille flirts with Johnny like I flirted in grade school. Let me tell you guys something. If any of you all met Johnny Depp, you would flirt with him too. I mean, he's just a larger than life character. Has anyone ever met a celebrity? You think you'll play it cool, and then you meet a celebrity, and you're like, trust it. It's your brain doesn't know what to do with all the information. All right, so then they move on to their next witness there. All right, let's see. We have another voicemail. Let's see if it's anything groundbreaking.
Hey man, it's Daquan from Cleveland. Man, I just wanted to say that I think you don't know anything because it's Fred from Ohio.
I got to give it to Fred on that one. That was actually a really good phone call. What Fred from Ohio doesn't realize is that I have caller ID. Here's his next voicemail.
Hey, Dave, in all honesty, though, my stomach is feeling a lot better. I really appreciate your good wishes. It really meant a lot to me. I hope you are having a wonderful day, and I hope you're feeling very blessed. And I'm sorry, but you still don't know.
All right, so there it is. All right, if anyone else wants to call in, the phone lines are open. But I do have a text transcript before the phone call comes in. So, we're always anticipating Fred from Ohio there and the multiple personalities that seem to be approaching him. All right, so that's all we got from that witness.
Your Honor, Mr. Depp calls Candy Davidson Goldbraun, who is the corporate designee of the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
All right, and that's by deposition, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right, there they are.
Goldbraun, is it your understanding that you're here to testify today on behalf of the Children's Hospital?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So as of June 2018.
I'm not a stickler for masks, but again, now look, if you're in a deposition, maybe shouldn't we see her lips move? Couldn't I be voicing this over right now? Now I know she's in a hospital or something, but maybe just pull it down. You know what I mean? Just give us a chance here. I don't know.
Had any payments been made?
Objection, we can't see her lips. I don't know.
By Miss Heard to the Children's Hospital in connection with the $3.5 million pledge, aside from the original $100,000 check from Mr. White in August of 2016.
So Teresa said, I met a mega celebrity last Wednesday night doing a comedy act in Burbank. Was it Wednesday or Thursday? Either way, Teresa was having enough drinks for all of us here. But I wouldn't call myself a mega celebrity. But if anyone's in Chicago, I'll be performing Friday and Saturday night at a couple of fun shows if you want to come hang out. But anyway, thank you so much for that, love. I appreciate it.
Yes, there was a payment, a gift on January 9th of 2018.
Hold on. I asked anyone if they had a celebrity encounter. And Kim Duncan, our good friend Kim, said, I checked Leo DiCaprio into the emergency room during Coachella one time, and I almost died, but he didn't look happy to be there, so I kept my composure. Kim, please tell me you took a photo. I know you're probably legally not supposed to do that, but that might be the coolest celebrity story I've ever heard.
And what amount is that gift that you're referring to?
$250,000.
All right, so breaking news.
Was that gift?
So breaking news here. Amber Heard did pay $250,000, which I said is 1/4 of $1 million. She owed $7 million. So what's 1/4 of $7 million? I'm guessing that's 1/28, right?
That we received from Fidelity.
What's the percentage of that?
Fidelity charity that
3.5%. She's paid 3.5% of her pledge.
What is this document?
the letter to Mr. White from myself inquiring about further installments on the pledge that had not been fulfilled.
And why did you write this to Mr. White on June 14th, 2019?
I was trying to figure out if there were any other payments coming from Mr. White.
All right, so pretty boring testimony, but goes to show that now we know that she hasn't paid the ACLU and she's barely paid. And again, this is after receiving the $7 million in full 13 months before being sued. Let's go to our pal Ruth in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Again, the voicemail line is open 401-213-9828. And thank you so much, Melody, for subscribing.
Hi, my name's Ruth, and I'm calling from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I've been staying apprised of everything that's going on in the trial. One thing that I noticed that has not been discussed yet was Amber Heard at one point in her testimony said that she was barricading a door when one of the interactions happened. And Johnny Depp was supposedly in the bathroom when she was barricading this door. I don't know about anybody else in the United States, but I have never seen a door that opens outward to go into a bathroom. You have to open the door and it goes inward, which of course coincides with Johnny being hit in the head when she originally kicked the door when he opened it a little ways, and she threw a punch at him and they had a discussion of it. But if she's barricading a door, how can she barricade a door that opens inward? Wondered if anybody else noticed that. So thanks for your coverage of this. I hope maybe this brings back some of the things that Amber spoke about that just did not make sense. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for the voicemail. What a soothing voice you have. By the way, Erica just donated $5 through the Super Chat. Thank you so much, Erica. I really appreciate it. Now, the comment section, Sarah, our good friend, moderator extraordinaire, says that Amber Heard didn't donate it, that Elon donated it on her behalf, which I'm a little confused. I was told Elon donated money to the ACLU on her behalf, but the testimony here is that it came out of Amber Heard's checking.
To fulfill the pledge.
Let's have a listen.
Because Children's Hospital Los Angeles had not received any other correspondence from him.
And what is this document?
It is the letter to Ms. Gottlieb from myself on behalf of Children's Hospital Los Angeles, inquiring about additional gifts, pledge payment installments
This letter appears to be directed to Miss Amber Heard, care of Jody Gottlieb. Is that correct?
Correct.
Who's Jody Gottlieb?
In the Children's Hospital Los Angeles records, Jody Gottlieb was our contact for Miss Amber Heard.
Ms. Goldbraun, why did you send this letter to Ms. Heard and Ms. Gottlieb?
I was trying to see if the pledge was going to be fulfilled or not.
In your experience, is it common practice for anonymous donors when making donations to, in one paragraph, state that they wish...
All right, so real fantastic stuff there. Not that interesting. Let's go to our next voicemail.
Hey, Dave, this is Plum's mom in Minnesota. I just wanted to let everybody know that's watching, Dave Neal has 2 excellent channels, and I'm so happy for you that this channel is taking off. Just wanted to make a quick comment in defense of the administrator or whatever she is from the Children's Hospital. If her state were to walk in, because it's always going to happen when you're least expecting it, and she didn't have a mask on, she would actually incur a huge fine for that. So give her a little slack there. Totally get what you mean. But, yeah, if the state walks in, we actually get fined in facilities if we are not up to all of our laws, codes, et cetera, for hospitals, long-term care facilities, et cetera. So just wanted to mention that as your happy nurse manager. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much for promoting both of our channels. We actually have 4 channels. We've got the Dave Neal Show, the Bachelor channel, my stand-up comedy channel if you want to watch my stand-up comedy clips, and then also the vlog channel, which we haven't really updated much of since Christmas, but we've been busy nonetheless. But thank you so much for calling and for clarifying that information right there. How do we go back to, oh my gosh, so many tabs. Here it is.
To remain anonymous, and in the very next paragraph...
So she has to keep the mask on or she'll get fined.
Yes.
That is common?
It is common for donors to want to remain anonymous publicly, but allow the charity to know who they are.
Between June 2018 and the dates on which you sent the letters to Ms. Heard and Mr. White in June of 2019, were any additional funds received from Ms. Heard?
No.
Okay, so as of June 2018, a total of $250,000 had been received as far as the Children's Hospital is concerned from Ms. Heard. And that was the same amount that had been donated a year later in June of 2019. Is that accurate?
Correct.
All right, so essentially they're just building up to the point that she hasn't donated any more money since then. They could have just asked that question. Let's go to Florida. Voicemails.
Hey, Dave. This is Lana from Florida. You know,
Hey,
the
Lana.
way Amber Heard presented herself in that op-ed as some kind of champion for domestic violence survivors, I feel like that's akin to Jesse Smollett presenting himself as a victim of a racial attack. I mean, it's not apples to apples, but it is pretty disgusting, especially given the manipulation and the aggression that we have heard in open court on the audio recording. What do you think?
I agree. It's not apples to apples, but there is a comparison. Now, Jussie Smollett, basically created this hoax hate crime, and then we find out that there's 2 men that were paid, 2 brothers that were paid to jump him, and they did it in a way that wasn't where there was surveillance footage, and the whole storyline was wild, different but similar in the sense that both Jussie and Amber, if you believe them to be fabricating this, I guess I should say allegedly, right? I don't know. Both of them are surfing on the wave of serious movements. Black Lives Matter, the Me Too movement. These are movements where we want to believe victims when they come out. We want to believe people that have had to deal with racial injustice. Now we have Jussie Smollett, who had everything going for him, but it wasn't enough. Now, obviously, we're talking mental health problems, but someone can have mental health problems and look perfectly fine otherwise. Someone like Amber Heard can look perfectly fine, but that histrionic personality disorder, and again, no expert here, can flare up in instances of interpartner violence, fighting with your partner, or all these different scenarios. So just because we don't see someone walking around with a tinfoil hat on, it's important for us to recognize that mental health issues all look very different and they can fly under the radar. Let's go to Leanne in Cleveland, Ohio.
Hi, this is Leanne, and I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and just want to let you know that dude over there, he's a weirdo, a lot of weirdos in Cleveland. But the lady who just spoke about the door has been bothering me ever since it's been talked about, been driving me nuts, that no one's ever talked about the barricading of the door, that how it goes inward and how, so I'm just seconding her, I'm seconding that because absolutely that's been bothering me like crazy ever since that was brought up, and it hasn't been talked about like, that's not even possible, just like the staircase incident, Amber and Whitney, they're talking about it like it's the same story, but, their stories are opposite because, Whitney's coming from behind, but Amber's story is that she was opposite of him trying to get in between. It's just their lives are just so lies sound like lies and truth sounds like truth. Just open your ears.
Open your ears, she said. Now, yeah, you've got a point. You've got a point. Now, the question will be, how will Johnny Depp's team right here, Camille, Benjamin, I don't know the other names of the lawyers, how will they tie this all together? It actually almost works against their case that there's so much damning evidence because none of it is a smoking gun. None of it's a smoking gun, but it's so much evidence that how do they piece this all together in the closing statements? So much of it came out that we weren't even expecting. Now, let me see if I can find this here. This was the original chart of who was supposed to testify today. So we have Jennifer Howell, deposition. We have Mike Spindler, economics damages report. Morgan Knight, witness of the Hicksville incident, which, by the way, if I was scrolling through Netflix and I saw a movie title and it was called Witness of the Hicksville incident, I'm watching that 100% of the time. That's a fantastic title. So he is a rebuttal witness. So he wasn't in the original testimony here, but the most fascinating part of today's story is this witness. So he gets called into court, and Amber Heard's side doesn't know who this guy is. They don't know what's going on. So we're going to watch this right now. They had to clear the jury out and sort of vet him. The judge had to talk to him to make sure that his testimony would kind of fit into the parameters of the case. And then once he started talking, he described that Johnny Depp was not the aggressor in a fight that happened at his Airbnb, at his little hotel property, that Amber Heard was the aggressor and that he was nothing but pleasant. So this testimony came out of nowhere. Nobody knew this was coming. So let's just take a watch right here.
Good afternoon, Camille.
Would you please state your full name for the record?
So the jury had to leave the room and they had to deliberate. The judge had to talk, ask him a few questions before she allowed this testimony to happen. Now, we're talking, unless I'm wrong here, Elaine, the lawyer for Amber Heard's side, they only had moments to prepare for this witness because they were not ready for this, and they kind of had to scramble with their cross. But it was very interesting.
Morgan Higby Knight.
Mr. Knight, where are you from?
I live in Los Angeles, California.
And what do you do for a living?
So I currently own and run Hicksville Pines Bud and Breakfast
Here it is.
in Idlewild, California. And I created and ran Hicksville Trailer Palace in Joshua Tree, California, starting in 2009.
And how is Hicksville Pines Bud and Breakfast different from Hicksville Trailer Palace?
So Hicksville Pines Bud and Breakfast is up in the mountains of Idlewild, which is a beautiful snow town above Palm Springs. and all the units are A-frames instead of trailers, which we have. It's obviously a very different climate than Joshua Tree, which is a desert area. The rooms, which are themed at both places, are trailers, vintage trailers from the 50s through the 70s at Hicksville Trailer Palace. So there's also different kind of amenities. There's a pool in Joshua Tree. There's a rec room up at Hicksville Pines.
When did you first become the owner of the Trailer Palace?
Trailer Palace, I started building it in 2009. It took about a year with my collaborator, Stephen Butcher, and on the trailers. And we got done and opened in 2010.
Did there come a time that you sold the Hicksville Trailer Palace?
Yeah, I did at the beginning of 2020. I had some health issues and just it was too much to run both at the same time. So I chose Idlewild because it was newer and shinier.
And just for my sake, how long did you own the Trailer Palace?
So 10 years of us being open, 11 years total.
And what was the Hicksville Trailer Palace?
So,
all right, so I'm pulling up the photos on Yelp as we listen to his testimony.
It was a filmmaker at the time and wanted a place to get away and work on film projects outside of Los Angeles. I also put in a recording studio so musicians could record records there. I had lived in New Orleans for 5 years, and there's an amazing recording studio there called Kingsway, where all the musicians would come and they'd live in this big mansion and record their records. And I just thought that was a really neat thing for artists to be able to get away and create whatever they were working on. Over the course,
this guy's going to have a surge in people wanting to stay here.
Themed trailers, which I'm a huge fan of this hotel called Madonna Inn. And so I wanted to do really
How creepy is it?
themed trailers. It became too expensive to just make a living off of an artist retreat. So I decided before I was done
Nice toes.
to make it a hotel as well.
I used to love
what were your
this
job responsibilities,
hockey
generally
game.
speaking, when you owned the Hicksville Trailer Palace?
So I would be live-in manager some nights, a couple nights a week. I would also drive out from Los Angeles twice a week.
I'm going here.
And bring
I'm booking it.
supplies that you can't get out
I'm taking Tasha here for our anniversary.
at Joshua Tree. There's just a lot of things like, Smart and Finals, Costco's and stuff. So I would drive that stuff out. There's also no USPS, so sometimes I'd have to get things shipped to my house and drive them out as well.
I'm still going.
I would also just do constantly building and creating new stuff at Trailer Palace, whether it's new trailers or
So they have a Santa one and they have a psychedelic one.
working on that stuff as well. I'm a big fan of the fact that Disneyland is always
Look at
making
this
better and
toilet. You get to literally sit on Santa's
And
face.
when you were the live-in manager, does that mean that you spent
Santa baby.
Yeah, we have a house on site where the recording studio was, and there's a bedroom in there. So whoever is live-in manager those nights stays in the house and basically lives there. There's a kitchen and everything.
Wow. A Bud waffle.
Have you ever met the plaintiff in this case, Mr. Depp?
I had met him really briefly at the Viper Room in the late 90s. I had worked with some of the people that performed there and was good friends with Girl Robin from the Pussycat Dolls and some other friends in this band, The Imposters. So I was there and I met him once.
How about Miss Heard? Ever met her?
I had never met her before.
That's a
we were
fun
guests
house.
at the hotel.
When was the first time that you met Mr. Depp and Miss Heard together?
In late May 2013, when they were guests, Mr. Depp's assistant Nathan had rented out the entire place so they could have a night there in privacy.
And what do you recall, if anything, about Mr. Depp and Miss Heard's arrival to the Hicksville Trailer Palace?
Mr. Depp got lost, so his security guard, who arrived early, asked me if I could go fetch them because he had an old car that didn't really fare on the dirt roads out there, which are pretty horrible. So I went out and made sure that they got themselves and the car back to Hicksville safely.
Do you remember approximately at what time that was?
It was 3 to 4 in the afternoon.
What was Mr. Depp's demeanor when they first arrived?
At Trailer Palace, he was super excited about the place, really complimentary, just had a lot of questions.
So after we watch his testimony, I'm going to rewind to what he said before they let him testify. He actually brought into some other fan YouTube channels, which is wild that YouTube channels covering this case were mentioned. It's just, this is probably the biggest case that there's ever been with the live streaming world and celebrity world. I mean, O.J. Simpson, that case, we didn't have the tools we have now. I can't think of another case that's as big as this.
And just seemed like he was in a really great mood.
And how about Miss Heard's demeanor? Anything stick out?
She was pretty quiet. She just kind of...
I like her hair.
Didn't say that much when I was giving them the tour of the grounds and the trailer.
And was anyone else with Mr. Depp?
Let's see if Camille accepted my request yet.
There's people that are arriving throughout the afternoon.
She has not.
There was, I think 10 to 12 people total ended up staying. The security guard had gotten there earlier and just to check out the place. But yeah.
And did I understand your testimony previously that the entire trailer park was rented out by Mr. Depp and Miss Heard?
Yeah, the whole place slept, I believe at the time, about 25 people, but there was only 10 to 12 in this party.
And
Thank
who
you, Sally.
was part of that party besides Mr. Depp and Miss Heard?
I'm really horrible with names, but I remember one of them was Miss Heard's sister and the security guard I mentioned before, but I honestly forgot his name too.
What happened when Mr. Depp and Miss Heard first came onto the property?
So I gave them a tour of, we give all guests a tour of their specific trailer and the grounds and show them around. When someone rents the whole place, they get another trailer called the bar trailer, which is basically a place to set up their alcohol and stuff. And some people in the group were just putting their beverages in that area.
And where were you when Mr. Depp and Miss Heard, did there come a time when Mr. Depp and Miss Heard went to the bar trailer?
I didn't notice most of the time that my interactions with them, everything's kind of centrally located. So there's a fire pit, bar trailer, and picnic tables all right in the same
I like that he's
area,
like selling it. Well, there's a fire pit, picnic, bar table, and anyone can enjoy from family to foe.
They were generally around that area the entire evening that I saw them.
And what did you observe of Mr. Depp and Miss Heard
as if things
progressed?
So Mr. Depp was just super curious and really nice. He was also really interested in my innkeeper because she was a musician, so they would talk about music a lot. At one point, the innkeeper who lived at the next door property went home and grabbed her guitar, and they had sung a song or two around the campfire in the early evening. There was another instance where Mr. Depp, the innkeeper, her name is Jenna, and myself were talking about books and music, and Miss Heard came over and kind of interjected. She seemed a little annoyed that Mr. Depp wasn't spending time with her.
What about Miss Heard's demeanor made you think that she was annoyed?
I think just generally,
you just know.
It's hard. Like I think. I don't know. It was just.
She looked
just
annoyed.
like a gut reaction. Like I can't describe it, but
Gut reaction.
How long were you with Mr. Depp and Miss Heard that evening? Generally.
So throughout the course of the evening, I was probably.
They banged in the Santa Claus suite.
Yeah, but 45 minutes to an hour total.
Objection.
So it was. That's over the whole course until the end of the night.
Everyone's talking about Amber's hair, but what about mine? Look at this hair today. Looking pretty good.
Interact with other people, guests on the property that evening?
She knows. She's like, what?
Yes.
I
saw him hanging out with the security guard at one point, and outside of the time that him and Jenna were singing around the campfire.
Yeah, this guy's a great personality.
He was off by himself a lot of the time, and Miss Heard was over at the campfire with her friends and seemed to have a good time.
And if you haven't already, can you generally describe for the jury your observations of Miss Heard that evening?
Thanks, Angel.
Yeah, she seemed to be having a really nice time with her friends around the campfire. And yeah, everyone was in a pretty good mood.
It's a wig.
Did there come a time in the evening that you observed Mr. Depp and Miss Heard have a disagreement or an argument?
Yes.
All right, the fighting part. Here we go.
I was speaking with Mr. Depp, just one-on-one, talking about Hicksville, and Miss Heard came over and she said that
Now I know this testimony is important, but Erica said, "What's your hair care routine?" I shampoo my hair probably every 3 days. Now it doesn't mean I don't go in the shower. I just shampoo it every 3 days, and then I'll put castor oil in my hair. That's right, castor oil. That's it. That's all I do. The end. You're welcome. That was free advice.
You and seemed really upset about
the Dave
something.
wave.
So I went and back in the house because it was really they went off on their own, and she started yelling at him, and I didn't want to hear it. It honestly was really triggering because I've been in an emotionally abusive relationship before.
Objections.
Teresa, should I get one of these rooms and do a live stream there?
Okay, sure.
All right. So anyway, they have an objection. Let's try to fast forward this.
It's the reaction. It's not the statement.
All right, if you could make that clear, that's fine.
Just what type of physical reaction did Mr. Depp have after the argument between Mr. Depp and Miss Heard?
He honestly, throughout the rest of the night, became a lot more quiet and was just very more petulant. In the beginning of the night,
petulant.
He was a lot more outgoing and extroverted, and throughout, as the course of the night went on, he was less and less so.
Well, that's because he's at a weed place.
Did you observe any of the guests consuming alcohol?
No, it's like Johnny Depp, he started the night alert, and by the end of the night, he was just eating Taco Bell. Yeah, he's at a place called Bud and Breakfast. What do you want from him?
Property?
I assume they were. I mean, people had cups, and there was alcohol set up in the bar trailer, but I didn't physically see them pour alcohol into their cup and cup go into the mouth, per se.
Did you witness Mr. Depp drink any alcohol that evening?
I couldn't say.
Anything about Mr. Depp's demeanor that made you think he was perhaps intoxicated?
Yes. As the night went on, I am a former bar owner, so even though I wasn't drinking that night, I'm very familiar with the signs. So just as the night went on, like I said, he became more and more quiet, but he also, as we would have conversations, his head would kind of sway a little bit back and forth, which was a little, he was much less sharp than he was earlier in the night.
Did Miss Heard appear intoxicated to you?
She did. She seemed, I think when she was angry at him, it seemed like she was intoxicated, but that's just based on my experience and my own personal trauma dealing with abuse.
I use a small amount of castor oil. Yeah, it is thick. I rub it in my hands, and then I just do that. That's all I do. A little bit.
Did you observe anyone do or take drugs?
I did not.
Did you witness Mr. Depp and Miss Heard interact other than the argument that you previously described for the jury?
At the end of the night, I heard a commotion. I was inside the house and came out. I couldn't tell what was going on.
I use balsamic vinaigrette on my split ends.
Depp and Miss Heard were having a discussion about I'm not sure what, but then they went to their trailer. At that point, a lot of people had already gone to bed, so it just kind of petered out. Everyone went to bed, including myself, and I didn't hear anything else the rest of the night.
What time did the evening come to an end?
I'd say it was almost around 3 a.m.
Did you ever see Mr. Depp grab anyone?
Objection leading. Sustained.
Did you ever see Mr. Depp become physical with anyone?
Objection leading.
Sustained. Next question.
Did you ever witness Mr. Depp get angry that evening?
Objection leading.
Sustained.
What if any?
What, if anything, happened the next morning?
The next morning, we have checkout at noon at the time, before COVID. And so around 11 o'clock, one of my innkeepers let me know that there...
Oscar, thank you for the super chat, $20. Much appreciated, Oscar. He says the big case will be the Hillary Clinton Benghazi questioning. Is that even happening? I didn't know about that.
And Ms. Heard's trailer.
Yes, I was informed that...
Objection, hearsay.
It's not being offered for the truth, Your Honor. I mean, may we approach on this one topic?
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, so as that, we let them discuss that. This broke just an hour ago. And I mentioned this earlier. TMZ files emergency motion to prevent former employee testifying in Depp Heard case. Outlet says it promised confidentiality to source over 2016 video and story. Gosh, I respect the confidentiality of sources. I do. And yet I really wish we could find out who leaked that TMZ video.
What, if anything, happened the next morning, Mr. Knight?
The innkeepers let me know that there was some damage in one of the trailers, and it happened to be Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard's trailer. So I wanted to inspect the trailer because I was...
Yeah, never eat balsamic dressing with a white shirt on. It's going to fling onto you. You're going to be really pissed. You can only eat balsamic dressing if you have a balsamic dressing colored shirt on.
Original and restored 1950s style, and so I was very concerned.
Quick question for the audience, for Abby Thomason here, our good friend. What's next for you, Abby? You just graduated law school. Tell us what's next. We'd love to know.
When you went to the trailer?
I observed that there was a light sconce by the bathroom.
A sconce?
In the bedroom that had been broken off the wall, and a couple pieces were on the floor. And they were, it was basically just broken. The light fixture was hanging on the wall still.
Broken glass everywhere.
On the floor.
If it ain't about the trial, Johnny, just don't care.
Objection, foundation, and
all right,
light.
foundation. I'll sustain as to foundation. How he knew.
Did you ask?
Hey, Brittany just subscribed. Thanks, Brittany.
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
How often do light fixtures in the trailers break?
They break pretty often. I mean, it's not like a usual thing, but things in the trailers generally get broken because it's all vintage trailers. And I would say as much as every couple weeks, there's some incident of damage in one of the trailers. In this case, Mr. Depp had told me that...
Objection, hearsay.
Objection.
So anyway, yes.
Beyond the light
All right, now, by the way, before we continue, I'm going to unlock an extra 30 minutes on this live stream if we can get to 20,000 subscribers. Okay, folks? I will unlock an extra 30 minutes on this live stream if we can get to 20,000 subscribers in the next 10 minutes. Okay? Otherwise, I'm going to have to go. All right, here's your 10-minute warning. If you're not subscribed, do it now.
No, everything else looks fine. In fact, we have something we call a piggy fee that we address to guests, that if there's anything, what we call inconsiderate or unusually large messes, we charge them extra for it for a $25 an hour cleaning fee, but they did not receive one of those because everything outside of light fixture.
Abby's taking the bar in July, and she has a baby on the way. We knew that. Congrats, Abby. We're so proud of you. Name it Dave or Camille.
Because it
Please.
was not a big deal. I just tucked, there was already
Mary
another
just
light
subscribed.
in the room, so I just tucked the wires in the wall until I had a few months later time to buy, it was matching sconce with another one in the room. So I had to, on eBay, find a matching pair that would fit there, and when I finally got around to it, I was able to get that and charge it to Nathan, whose credit card I had.
And what was your understanding of who Nathan was?
Mr. Depp's assistant.
Okay. And what did you charge Nathan or Mr. Depp for replacing that pair of light fixtures?
The pair came out to $62.
While you were on site, Mr. Knight, did you ever wear a mesh shirt?
No, I would absolutely never wear that.
A mess shirt.
At any time during Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard's stay on the property, did you see Mr. Depp become physical with anyone?
Diana just subscribed. Thank you.
Leading.
Overruled. That's fine.
I'm sorry, that answer was...
I never saw Mr. Depp get physical.
Why would they ask about a mesh shirt? Did I miss something? Could anyone explain that to me?
Go with anyone when I saw him.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oscar with a $5 super chat says I was mentioning past cases. I didn't know if there was something in the news I was missing out on. Hey, Jersey just subscribed. Thank you guys so much.
I am not. To be honest.
I missed that. What did you say?
The evening,
Did you see Mr. Depp become physical with anyone?
Physical.
I did not.
Leading.
Overruled. That's fine.
I'm sorry, that answer was...
I never saw Mr. Depp get physical with anyone when I saw him.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
By the way, Abby, let us know what your baby registry is so the Dave Neal community can hook your baby up with some cool swag, all right? Let us know what that is. We'll stay in touch about that. We have a little bit of time. Have you had the baby shower yet? All right, here we go. We have 7.5 minutes left to get to 20,000 subscribers. I don't know if you guys are going to do it. We have another 122 to go.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Knight, you are a pretty big fan of Johnny Depp, aren't you?
I am not. To be honest, throughout the evening, I
just asked you one question.
Oh, I
didn't
apologize.
ask you the rest of that.
Let him talk.
You wanted to participate in this trial, didn't you?
I did not. I was asked by the attorney, and I wanted to. They asked me, and I said I'll be happy to come and tell the truth.
So he says he's not even a Johnny Depp fan. Now, this is the cross-examination. They didn't have much time to prepare, but they're going to try to argue that that he's kind of wanted the fame of it all.
On camera, that it was being broadcast to a lot of people, and you saw testimony, did you not, in this case? And you seized the moment and responded to the umbrella guy, the lead person for Mr. Depp's Twitters.
Okay, so now this is where it gets wild, because we have the umbrella guy who's right here being brought into this testimony, right? So the umbrella guy, he's let's go back to what he goes, the media is talking about me. This is surreal. That's the umbrella guy. Amber Heard's team is talking about me. Holy crap, my Twitter is blowing up. So the umbrella guy, as he's live streaming, is being talked about. How bizarre, how bizarre. All right, let's continue this. I've lost, I don't know what tab it is. Is this it?
Did there come a time in the evening...
No, that's the wrong one, right? I have two different ones up here. Make sure I got the right, there it is.
Did you not?
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative compound.
Overruled.
Mr. Umbrella Guy is the lead. The lead.
You know that he leads one of the most predominant pro-Depp Twitters.
Look at Johnny Depp
out there.
I have
Look at
no
Camille.
idea. I don't care or follow the Umbrella Guy.
In fact, you do follow a Twitter called Johnny Depp Fan, don't you?
Absolutely not.
You don't? That's your testimony under oath?
It is my testimony under oath.
All right.
Whoops. Now, of course, she's going with whatever researchers probably just got her this information. By the way, 100 subscribers away, 5 minutes to go. The countdown is ticking. If you're in the chat and you haven't subscribed, get up and do it. We're 5 minutes away to get 100 in 3 new subscribers, and we'll continue this conversation.
21st, Mr. Depp testified in this case about Hicksville, didn't he?
I wasn't here.
And in fact, you tweeted in response to the Umbrella Guy on April 21, 22, quote, "That never happened. I was with them all night. Amber was the one acting all jealous and crazy." Do you recall writing that?
I do recall writing that.
Michelle, can you bring that up, please? We're going to call it Defendants 1903.
1903.
Bored Cat says Amber's original plan was to kill Johnny Depp and blame it on overdosing. That's very interesting.
going to go ahead and ask you to redact.
All right, 4 minutes left. I don't know if we're going to get to 20,000.
And the bringing in the Hicksville. Your Honor, I'm sorry.
I don't know if we have enough people in the chat. Little Dove subscribed. Thank you so much. I'll tell you what. If we don't get to 20,000, I'll let the amount of super chats make up for it. So if someone super chats $5, I'll count that as 5 subs. Does that make sense? We'll do an extra 30. So there he is, Umbrella Guy, cool as a cucumber. Great witness.
Did you write and direct a piece called?
You know, because look, he's getting laughter from the audience, and not in he's so well liked. Laughter. If you can get the audience who's not supposed to talk at all to laugh and chuckle, that's a good sign for your credibility.
Back in 1999.
I did.
And didn't Mr. Depp's first wife, Lorianne Allison, work as a makeup artist on that?
She absolutely did.
Yeah, whether or not this guy's following a Johnny Depp fan page, I mean, it could be. I mean, look, I'm following 20,000 people. I don't know who I'm following. Hey, shout out Katie Boulder for subscribing. So, look, could he be following? Maybe. What do I know? Like, what does he know? Maybe he was. I mean, it's probably better for him to say, like, I don't believe I'm following that fan account, but I don't know. Also, people, whether it's the fan account's handle or their name, it could be Joe Schmo, and then their name changes to the Johnny Depp fan account. There's so much information that hasn't been presented.
4 days after you tweeted to Umbrella Man,
I was Umbrella Guy.
Umbrella Guy. Okay. Well, all right. Now we have this up. I'm going to ask you to take a look. What is
2 minutes left.
Defendant's Exhibit 1903? Do you see that?
I do.
Okay. And that's from that Umbrella Guy on 4/21/22, correct?
Correct.
And it says bringing in the Hicksville incident accusations. Do you see that?
I do.
And there's clearly Mr. Depp testifying there, likely a video, right?
Okay.
And you respond, that never happened. I was with them all night. Amber was the one acting all jealous and crazy. Do you see that?
I do.
Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of defendants 1903.
All right, we're back up to 1,000 people in the chat. Last chance to get to 20,000 subscribers. I just don't think we can do it. There's only 80 seconds left. That's going to require 71 of you right now to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Here's your final shot. That'll get us an extra 30 minutes on the live stream. Otherwise, I'm ordering sushi.
Yeah, Your Honor, we believe the first part of that Umbrella Guy's tweet should be unredacted for context.
I have no idea what I was replying to.
It's hearsay. It's rank hearsay, and the context
Your Honor,
is not necessary.
You're going to approach. Take a look.
All right, so they're approaching. All right, so here's our final 40 seconds here. We're really leaping in subscribers, so I kind of feel like I'm going to give you guys the benefit of the doubt because we're leaning on 20,000. So I'll tell you what, if you guys pledge to donate 65, 63 more subscribers in the next half hour, then we'll get away with it. Oh, it's really piling in. So it looks like 19, 18, 17. All right, it looks like we're 15 seconds away. Will we get there? There might be a little bit of delay. Alderin says, order sushi and keep streaming. I think I might do that. Tasha, can you hear me? Tasha, are you in the other room? I try not to let Tasha order the sushi because she always orders way too much. All right, the timer's done. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you guys the benefit of the doubt here that, all of those that did subscribe, I don't want to punish you guys because we're still at 19,950, but I'm going to accept that 20K challenge. So thank you guys so much for that. Erica told me she pledges the subscribers, and then Annalisa with a $5 super chat. So it looks like Annalisa's super chat is going to buy us 5 more subscribers there. So we're inching our way in. So you know what? Let's just keep going. I'm going to unlock an extra 30 minutes for you guys. Okay. So we have a 5 and then Teresa with $1. So that's 6 extra subs. So we're pretty much on the way. So I appreciate all the support.
Evidence as redacted.
All right. Don't you love these graphics here?
Now, so you reached out to the umbrella guy in this text, this Twitter, right?
Umbrella guy.
I wouldn't call it reaching out.
And in fact, the umbrella guy is in Mr.
So, by the way, I'm just going to pause here. I just can't imagine how this is helpful to Amber Heard's side. This is Morgan Knight, the guy who's on the stand. And he said this: "That never happened. I was with them all night. Amber was the one acting all jealous and crazy." Now, you have to understand, people want to insert themselves into drama, but like the guy was there, and I'm sure he remembers very clearly what went down that night. He had a celebrity guest, probably the biggest guest they've ever had. So I don't see how bringing this information up helps Amber's side at all.
You know who Adam Waldman is?
I have no idea.
Well, he's testified earlier that he talks to the umbrella guy.
That he what? He talks to the umbrella guy?
Yeah. Were you aware of that?
I honestly, this sounds like schizophrenia.
Okay. Now, 4 days after
What?
this
Schizophrenia?
Event where you texted, Your Honor, yeah, it's in. Okay, good. 4 days after that, you tweeted something pretty nasty about Elon Musk, didn't you?
Whoa.
I did.
Wow.
Okay, thank you.
Snarky.
So you don't like Elon Musk, right?
Objection, relevance.
I don't know Elon Musk.
Overruled. Thank you.
So that was the context of that is that he had...
I didn't ask you for the context.
I apologize.
Tell us the context.
But you texted something that had swear words.
Oh, the guy's
in it.
shaking
Would you
his head in the
agree
back.
About Elon Musk?
Look at the audience.
Yes.
Okay.
Fascinating.
Now, let's talk about your...
Sell some popcorn.
Recollections here. 45 minutes to an hour. Your recollection is that Mr. Depp actually drove there?
Yes.
Queen Baby Cake
car was he
subscribed.
driving?
An old one that was a convertible.
An old convertible.
An old convertible?
I'm not a car guy, so I couldn't express the...
Emily Marie, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. By the way, you have a very stunning YouTube photo right there. I'm stuttering.
Okay. Now, you said that you spent a total of 45 minutes to an hour
Coming in clutch.
with Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard. Is that correct?
After the... Mostly Mr. Depp, but that's after the tour and after they were checked in throughout the course of the night.
Okay. And you don't recall any of the people that were there other than Ms. Heard's sister and the security guard, correct?
I don't recall any of their names.
Do you remember how many of them were female?
Dahlia, thanks for
I believe it
$10
was
super chat.
predominantly female.
Thank you so much.
Remember how many males were there?
I don't, outside of the security guard.
Do you remember what any of the other people looked like?
They honestly just seemed like youngish hipsters, like for lack of a better term. I know that previously a couple of them had stayed at Hicksville Trailer Palace. That's how they knew about the place.
Okay. So you don't recall seeing how much anybody had to drink that night, correct?
I did not witness that.
And do you recall the use of drugs at all?
I did not witness that.
Okay. Were you sitting at any point with these people at the campfire?
I was not.
And when you said that that you saw Ms. Heard and Mr. Depp, and Ms. Heard was yelling at Mr. Depp, where were they?
She pulled him for a chat, and it was off towards their trailer, like a little bit off towards the dirt.
How many feet were there between the campfire and their trailer?
The campfire and their trailer?
Yes.
Approximately 75.
Okay. So where in that 75 feet did Ms. Heard pull Mr. Depp and yell at him and he cowered?
20.
Okay.
He cowered.
From the campfire.
From
not
the
trailer.
campfire.
Yeah.
So your testimony is that Ms. Heard grabbed Mr. Heard, pulled him 20 feet over.
Now, she
yelled
just
at
called
him, and
Johnny
he cowered.
Depp Mr. Heard, which some people are saying shows that she was rattled because this was all new testimony they weren't prepared for, and she knew it wasn't going well. Let's re-listen to Elaine, Amber Heard's lawyer, calling Johnny Depp Mr. Heard.
Dirt.
How many feet were there between the campfire and their trailer?
the campfire and their trailer.
Mandy with a donation. Thank you so much.
Approximately 75.
Okay. So where in that 75 feet
Listen.
did Ms. Heard pull Mr. Depp and yell at him and he cowered?
Mr. Heard pulled
20.
Miss Heard pulled Mr. Depp.
20
From the campfire,
From
not
the
the trailer.
campfire.
Yeah.
So your testimony is that Ms. Heard grabbed Mr. Heard, pulled him 20 feet over,
She goes, huh?
yelled at him, and he cowered.
Yes, that's what I witnessed.
And then did they go back?
I went inside the house.
So you don't know whether they returned to the campfire or they returned to their trailer?
I do not.
Okay. And do you know whether there were any disagreements or physical communications, anything of that nature at the campfire?
I do not.
Do you know whether Mr. Depp did anything to anybody else at the campfire?
I didn't see anything.
Okay. Do you know whether Mr. Depp grabbed anybody's wrist and asked them if they knew how many pounds of pressure it took to break their wrist?
I wasn't there the whole time.
Okay. Is it your testimony that Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard went last to their trailer? Everybody else went before them?
The rest of the people, I think about half of them had already gone to bed, and it was all around the same time at the end of the night that the rest kind of scattered. There might have been a couple of people that went right after them or right before, but it was all around the same time.
Okay, so your recollection is that when Amber and Johnny Depp went back to their trailer, that dissipated. Everybody then left.
Oh, Chronically Brianna with the super chat donation saying, enjoy some sushi. Thank you, Brianna. I appreciate that.
Staying in from the trailer that Amber and Johnny Depp were staying in.
I'd say it was about 75 feet away.
Okay. And the next time that you saw or heard anything was when you went there in the morning and saw the broken sconce. Is that correct?
Yes, I didn't hear anything after went to bed.
Okay. And that's the extent of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. I have no further questions.
All right, redirect.
All right, now it's the redirect.
Mr. Knight, how did you get involved in this trial?
I got a text from one of our old employees who I then talked to for
Objection,
years.
hearsay?
Don't tell us what the text said. Just how did you get involved?
I got a text from.
All right, for those that are new to the chat here, we're still pending. Let's do a refresh. Camille, her Instagram. She has not responded to my request, so it looks like she must be a little busy right now. But we'll check back on that, and then of course let's move the subscriber count and go back to this trial.
I got it.
I'd still hearsay, Your Honor. Objection.
No. Overruled.
Thank you. Go on, Mr. Knight.
I was asked if it was.
No,
objection, hearsay.
Apologize.
What did you?
I got a
What
text.
did you received a text? Okay.
Yes.
From
and
whom?
From a former employee.
And how long had it been since you had heard from this former employee?
Approximately 5 years.
And did you contact Mr. Depp or any of his attorneys?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
I did not.
How did you get in touch with Mr. Depp's attorneys?
They got in touch with me.
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Go on, Mr. Knight.
They reached out to me.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, false
I
objection.
don't have an objection right now.
Thank
Only if he talks more.
Only if he talks more.
Next question.
I object to you,
And
Elaine.
how do you feel about participating in this trial?
Objection, relevance.
Ooh.
It's extremely relevant considering that they have accused him of being...
Overruled.
Thank you.
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
I'm happy to tell what I saw, and that's the extent of it. I really don't care outside of that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Knight. Nothing
All
further.
right. I assume this witness is not subject to recall. Is that correct? All right. Sir, you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Interesting
All right, your
witness.
next witness.
Really does nothing for Amber Heard's case right there.
Position, or is it gonna...
Apologies, Your Honor. Thank you. Dr. Shaw.
Okay,
Plaintiff
Dr.
calls
Shaw.
Dr. Shaw.
Okay.
Dr. Shaw. The plaintiff, Johnny Depp. Cool Hand Luke calls Dr. Shaw. Let's see what they have here. Camille back to the front row. Let's see if she reaches for a candy. Oh, look at her. Look at Camille there. Wow. Hold on. We got a lot of body language happening there. This is important. Look at Camille. And I don't know. She's excited. She's either excited that she just kicked butt or that I followed her on Instagram. One or the other.
Go on, Mr. Knight.
Or is it going to be a deposition, or is it going to...
So she's going to...
Apologies, Your Honor. Thank you. Dr. Shaw.
Okay,
Plaintiff calls Dr. Shaw.
Okay.
So watch Camille here. No, we can all... I'm not a lip reading expert, but let's just watch. It appears she says, Dave Neal just followed me on Instagram. Watch. Dave followed me. And he's like, follow him back. And she's like, I'm going to wait a little bit. I don't want to make it look like I'm, you know what I mean? Oh, there she goes. She's like, all right. Okay. All right.
Thank you, sir.
So what's this guy all about?
Good
now,
afternoon,
yesterday we had what some were calling is one of the most just egregiously mismanaged expert witnesses. We're going to get into that, but he does a good job of breaking down yesterday's witness that testified on behalf of Amber Heard by saying, look, you can't diagnose people by watching their movies, which of course, let's just get into it.
Dr. Shaw, can you please state your name for the record?
My name is Richard John Shaw.
He's got an accent. He's believable.
Dr. Shaw, can you please describe your educational background?
I'm a psychiatrist. I went to medical school at the
I'll be right
University
back,
of
guys.
London in England. I went straight after high school. That's actually the system in the British medical system. I did 2 years of preclinical training and then 3 years of clinical work with patients. Following that, I moved to New Zealand to do an internship. It was an internship in neurology, medicine, surgery, and psychiatry. I spent 3 years in New Zealand, and I did a year of psychiatry residency training. Excuse me. And following that, excuse me. Following that, I moved here to the United States for the first time and did a residency in adult psychiatry at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine, which is in New York. That was 4 years of training in the Bronx. And I also did some subspecialty training in family therapy, couples and family therapy as in my 4th year. And after that, I moved to California, and I've worked at Stanford. I studied at Stanford. I did a fellowship in child and adolescent psychiatry, and I've been at Stanford pretty much since then.
Dr. Shaw, what is your current position?
I'm a professor of psychiatry in the Department of Psychiatry at Stanford. I also run what's called the Psychiatry Consult Service at the Children's Hospital at Stanford.
What, if any, professional certifications have you received?
I have what's called board certification in adult and general psychiatry. I obtained that from the American Board of Psychiatry and Neurology in 1991. And then I obtained subspecialty board certification in child and adolescent psychiatry in 1993.
Are you a member of any professional organizations in the field of psychiatry?
Yes, I am. I'm a member of the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. I'm also a member of the Academy of Consultation Liaison Psychiatry.
How long have you been practicing psychiatry?
If you include my
Lindsay with a $10
psychiatry
super chat. Thank you
residency
so
in the
much.
US, that would be since 1985.
Is that approximately 35 years?
Yeah, I think so.
I was ordering sushi.
What percentage of your practice involves treating patients?
Approximately 3/4 of my time is working with patients. I work in the pediatric hospital, treating a combination of mainly children and adolescents with severe medical conditions, but also working with parents of children who have severe medical conditions. I also consult to the pediatric emergency room, and we evaluate patients who show up with suicide attempts and other serious situations.
What does the remaining quarter of your practice entail?
Well, as a professor, I have to do a number of academic activities. So I do research, I do a lot of teaching, I give lectures.
Yeah, Abby, this was a great witness. Ripped
Supervise
Spiegel to
residents,
shreds.
medical students and fellows in psychiatry. I do some administrative work. Yeah, so it's a pretty diverse, varied day and week.
Can you tell the jury a little bit about your research and academic work?
Yeah, a lot of my research has involved looking at the issue of trauma and PTSD in parents who have medically fragile children. A lot of these parents are naturally really affected by their child's illness and develop trauma symptoms. So I've developed some interventions to try to help parents, provide support and treatment to reduce their symptoms of trauma.
Have you published articles or books in your area of expertise?
Yes, I have. I've published approximately 70 or probably closer to 80 peer-reviewed manuscripts in different scientific journals. I've also published a number of book chapters on various topics, approximately 30. And I have published 3 textbooks, one of which has gone into a second edition on topics that are related to my area of expertise. And one of them actually is about the treatment of PTSD in parents of premature infants.
Have you published a book through the APA?
Actually, all of those books were published through the APA, the American Psychiatric Association. They have a publishing house, and that's been my publishing company.
What is the APA?
The APA, the American Psychiatric Association, not to be confused with the American Psychological Association, is a professional organization that represents psychiatrists in the U.S. The last time I looked at this,
So
I think
for the
there's
people
about
that are
36
wondering, they're wondering if you didn't catch yesterday, this was Amber Heard's expert doctor, and here's Johnny Depp reacting to him. So I'm assuming this is...
Do I have to answer that question, Your Honor?
You have to answer questions. Yes, sir.
No.
Jeez, real classic right there. All right.
7 or 38,000 members. And the APA has many different roles. One of it is advocacy in psychiatry in the US, but it also has an important role in terms of education. So they host an annual scientific meeting every year in which psychiatrists will present their research. It publishes a number of journals in the field, and fairly frequently it publishes guidelines for professional practice or about ethical guidelines that they hope that members will follow as part of their practice.
What ways are you involved with the APA?
Well, I mentioned my publishing. I also present at the scientific meetings. I last presented in 2021 during COVID. It was virtually, but on the topic of group therapy for parents with trauma symptoms. I follow the APA and their various guidelines. I think it's a really influential and important institution.
Going back to your credentials, what, if any, professional awards have you received?
I've been given several teaching awards at Stanford University. And
all right, let's jump forward a little bit. We got through all the awards. Now we really want to get to the part where he slams yesterday's, testimony here. So I don't know what they're discussing. There they are. Johnny Depp, he's in between coloring. Nice tie there. No ascot today from Johnny Depp, but he's got everything else going on. 14 subscribers away from 20,000. So let's just inch this forward here.
Senator Barry Goldwater was running as a Republican candidate.
So what he's doing is he's explaining why yesterday's expert witness operated unethically.
And there was a magazine called Fact Magazine that started a campaign to discredit Senator Goldwater. And they obtained a mailing list from the AMA and sent out a single survey questionnaire to about 12,000 psychiatrists in the US, asking if they felt that Senator Goldwater was fit to run for office. And about 2,000 psychiatrists responded, 1,000 of whom expressed very negative opinions about Senator Goldwater and made comments such as, for example, he was a megalomaniac, he was a paranoid schizophrenic, that he had narcissistic personality disorder. And as a result of that, he was replaced as a candidate.
Super chat from Kim. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
For defamation of character. And he was successful in that lawsuit.
All right, so he's just explaining the lawsuit that set the precedents to not to not diagnose someone without personally talking to them.
Revision of the Goldwater rule definitely received a lot of support. The president of the APA at the time stated that breaking the Goldwater rule was irresponsible.
Oh, we're getting sushi tonight.
Stigmatizing and definitely unethical. So
yeah, again, sushi. Go to my Instagram, D Neals. I'll post a sushi photo.
What other medical organizations have weighed in on this issue?
By the way, I like to submerge my sushi in soy sauce. I submerge my sushi in soy sauce.
The American Medical Association that represents physicians.
All right, get to the drama.
Did not follow the guidelines of the APA in the 2017 revision, where it was considered important that there be sufficient information obtained by that expert to give an opinion. So I would definitely felt that his conduct, unfortunately, did violate the Goldwater rule.
And specifically, what opinions of that Dr. Spiegel gave yesterday do you feel violated the Goldwater rule?
Yeah, I think that, well, there were sort of two primary ones. The first that you heard about was that Dr. Spiegel had professional opinions about Mr. Depp's personality.
Okay, so here's what they're referencing. I was looking for this clip here. This was from yesterday.
The deposition that he gave, and he took it overnight the night before. And what I think I said was that if you're going to do a major thing toward a trial that you're involved with, I think you'd be an idiot to come in the night before. All right. So I didn't call Mr. Depp an idiot. I certainly called that planning an idiot. I didn't call him an idiot.
So the words, so I mean he's an idiot, are mistranscribed?
No, I'm sure, again, if I said it in that, if you're just reading one line, one snippet, I'm sure it was in the context I just said. But again, you have it in front of you, I don't.
Yeah.
Is
idiot a professional opinion?
I wasn't rendering professional opinion.
Yeah.
No.
Is it a psychiatric opinion?
And that follows the Goldwater rule.
How does it follow the?
Oh, you just said that I'm not rendering a professional
Look at Ben Chu. They're like, I can't believe this is happening.
opinion. I just said idiot. That's not a.
No, so idiot is not a professional opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Is it your practice to describe people as idiots?
My practice to describe people. In my practice? No, I don't describe people.
For those wondering, no, I do not use soy sauce in my hair, although I would be willing to try it.
My clinical cases as idiots, or patients as idiots, or victims as idiots. No, sir.
But you said.
All right, so that's that. So I didn't call him an idiot. I said he was. That's like if you fight with your lady, honey, I didn't call you a bitch. I said you were doing something bitchy. You see, I didn't say you were that. Sir, we have the transcript that says you called your lady a bitch. Well, if you're just going to read that one line, 19,999 subscribers. Who's going to be 20,000?
He believed that Mr. Depp had narcissistic personality traits. So, and he also...
Who wants it? 20,000.
Narcissistic personality
going
disorder.
once. Going twice.
Narcissistic personality disorder is a diagnosis in
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we just hit a record-breaking 20,000 subscribers on our new channel. Thank you guys so much for that. And let's continue the party.
It's called the DSM-5 for short. It's a diagnostic manual published by the APA.
Objection, Your Honor. We've heard for a moment.
Okay.
All right, so they're objecting, and then Melody. No, who is it? Shannon in the chat said eggs are great for hair. Listen, I was on a date with this girl, and she put egg whites in her hair. And then she also used mayonnaise. It was so gross. 20,010 subscribers. So who knows who the lucky 20,000 was? You win a free car. All right, so we are waiting to see what they are going to deliberate on, and it looks like. What's going on here? People are rushing to the bathroom. Very fascinating stuff. We're going to wrap up this testimony, then I'm going to go get sushi. But I have a video for you guys. I'm going to premiere for you guys as soon as I'm done here, which is going to break down Kate Moss's testimony for tomorrow, as she's going to testify from England. Did you guys know Kate Moss is worth $70 million? Did you know that? So anyway, who's this lady in the yellow, unsung hero? Seriously, she needs a bonus. I don't know what she's getting paid, but it's not enough. Very stressful job. What if you have to pee?
Go ahead, Dr. Shaw. Please continue.
Sure. So I was just talking about narcissistic personality disorder in the DSM-5.
Thanks, everybody.
So the diagnostic criteria for that are...
Yeah, for 20,000 subs, Elon Musk is giving me a bugged Tesla.
A pattern of grandiosity, a need for admiration, a lack of empathy that's demonstrated by that person since young adulthood. And the DSM-5 has 9 specific criteria, and for someone to meet the diagnosis, you have to meet 5 of those criteria. And so when, as a psychiatrist, we're trying to make a diagnosis of any personality disorder or any diagnosis in general, the normal professional guidelines would dictate that we would do a very careful diagnostic interview. And there are actually interviews specifically written to assess personality disorders. It's also possible to have the individual fill out questionnaires. There's something called the Narcissistic Personality Inventory. This is a 40-item checklist that taps into various components of narcissistic personality disorder. And it's also possible to get psychological testing, like the MMPI that I think you heard about in reference to one of the other experts here. So with all of this information, including collateral information from family members, work colleagues, information of that sort, it is possible to come up with a diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder. So in the case of Dr. Spiegel, he had none of this information, even though he came out and stated with what he described as a degree of medical certainty.
Sounds like he's the idiot.
Mr. Depp had narcissistic personality traits. And if you remember somewhat towards the end of his testimony yesterday, he was asked to, since he couldn't provide any documentation from the medical record about narcissistic personality disorder or narcissistic personality traits, he was asked about what is referred to a lot in his testimony as record evidence. So information that he obtained from depositions, from text messages, from emails, whatever. And so he was asked to give, I think, 5 examples of record evidence that would make it seem like Mr. Depp met criteria for narcissistic personality traits.
Yeah, it's a great day for Johnny's
I'll just
team.
mention a couple of them, just to illustrate my opinion, is that testimony did not really hold together.
How did Amber's team not get a better expert witness?
one of the criteria for narcissism is narcissistic personality disorder is a sense of entitlement. And the example Dr. Spiegel gave is that he believed that Miss Heard married him for his money. So clearly, sense of entitlement is from a psychiatry perspective, that's very different from a belief that someone wanted you for your money. A second example that was given was that he was asked to give an example of how Mr. Depp had shown that he was envious of others, which is another criterion for narcissistic personality disorder. And the example that Dr. Spiegel gave is that Mr. Depp was jealous of Miss Heard because he believed she was having an affair with Mr. Franco. Now, if we look at these two terms as a psychiatrist, there's a big difference between being envious and being jealous.
Do you think that Johnny Depp has hair plugs?
When I think about envy, I think about somebody wants something that someone else has.
Objection.
Objection, Your Honor. I think this is going beyond his investigation.
He's giving his opinion as to how Dr. Spiegel violated the Goldwater rule with respect to his testimony about narcissistic personality traits.
He did, but now sustain the objection. Next question.
Okay. Okay, and you mentioned two major examples. What was the second one?
The second one was confusing being envious with being jealous.
Oh, sorry, Dr. Shaw. I mean, you mentioned two major examples of ways Dr. Spiegel violated the Goldwater rule. What is the second?
Oh, sure. So the other big category had to do with Dr. Spiegel's evaluation of Mr. Depp's cognitive abilities. And his general opinion was that Mr. Depp had deficits in his memory, in his attention, in his processing speed, that he had word-finding difficulties. Again, Dr. Spiegel did not evaluate Mr. Depp, and the information that he relied upon, there were two pieces of information. The first was that he watched a very long deposition that Mr. Depp gave the day after I think he had flown back from London to the East Coast.
You don't think that's got hair plugs?
He made observations about Mr. Depp's behavior in that deposition, and felt that he could opine or give an opinion about processing speed and other cognitive aspects. He also made reference to something you heard about yesterday, this thing called the mini mental status examination. This is a brief screen for memory and cognitive functioning that is often done. And he testified that Dr. Blaustein had administered the mini mental status examination. And although, from the records, all we know is that...
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustain the objection.
Dr. Shaw, without going into Dr. Blaustein's record, what information does a mini mental exam provide?
Objection, Your Honor. It's beyond the scope of his designation.
Overruled as to that limited question.
Yeah, so the mini mental status is it's a series of about 10 or 11 questions and tasks that someone completes, and you get a score out of 30. What Dr. Spiegel testified.
Right, I'm going to jump forward a little bit here. So then, I believe we have the cross-examination. He just hits the nail out of he hits the nail out of the park. He hits the ball out of the park. You guys get what I'm trying to say. Hits the nail in the head. All right, there we are. All right, the judge, the real hero here, this judge. Okay, let's keep this party going.
His opinion was a matter without interviewing someone. And there's certain sort of ways that it should be framed. So, for example, when Dr. Spiegel was testifying about the report that Mr. Depp was unable to recall these 3 objects, what he could have done is said that I have not personally examined Mr. Depp, so I can't speculate about his...
Well, he wasn't getting paid for that.
...cognitive state or ability to function cognitively. However, it is possible that someone who's not able to recall 3 objects could have issues related to substance use, which was what his opinion was. However, what he should have done in expressing his opinion is then have followed up to say that in order to really establish whether these were relevant and significant cognitive deficits, Mr. Depp should have had psychological testing to establish the nature of these deficits. And he should also have added that there are other potential explanations for these findings. So, for example, it's possible that Mr. Depp...
Objection, Your Honor. He's now going past the designation.
I think he's just opining as to, or is responding to Dr. Spiegel's testimony yesterday.
No, he's opining as to what Dr. Spiegel could have said, but it's past the, whether he, about the
All right,
I'll,
if we can move on.
Okay.
We're gonna wrap up.
Who's qualified to give an opinion about cognitive deficit?
We're gonna wrap up here shortly, guys.
It would have to be someone who could conduct the type of neuropsychological testing that I was mentioning. You can't establish the presence of cognitive deficits without a battery of tests.
Objection, again, this is beyond the Goldwater.
Overruled.
You can't establish cognitive deficits without appropriate neuropsychological testing. And that can only be done by a psychologist or neuropsychologist. So a psychiatrist like Dr. Spiegel would be giving an opinion outside of his area of expertise if he gave an opinion about cognitive deficits that required psychological testing to be further evaluated.
Dr. Spiegel yesterday testified about the practice of forensic psychiatry. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes, I do.
What is forensic psychiatry?
Forensic psychiatry is a specialty of psychiatry that relates to matters on the intersection between psychiatry and the law. So, for example, what we're doing today is forensic psychiatry, where a psychiatrist comes into court and gives an opinion about a matter to help the court may come to an opinion.
Are there professional standards that govern the practice of forensic psychiatry?
Yes, there are.
And what organizations have issued those standards?
One of the primary organizations that has issued guidelines about the practice of forensic psychiatry is called the American Academy of Psychiatry and the Law. This is an organization that represents forensic psychiatrists. And it has published guidelines about what constitutes an ethical and sound practice of doing a forensic assessment and providing a psychiatric opinion. So this guideline, I think was published in 2015, actually contains many elements that are consistent with the Goldwater rule. So, for example, it states that for a forensic assessment to be done, there has to be informed consent, and there should be a very thorough, comprehensive evaluation that would include reviewing past records, past psychiatric history. It would include doing what's called a mental status examination, which is a careful evaluation of someone's mood, cognition, things of that nature, of the Goldwater rule. And the guidelines do state that it is reasonable or permitted to provide an opinion without an evaluation. But if you're going to do that, there's some things that you have to really make clear in your opinion when you express that opinion. And the first is that you have to acknowledge the limitations of your opinion and not, like Dr. Spiegel, say that his opinion was held with a degree of medical certainty. You have to explain what's missing, what data you did not have that you were not able to rely upon in coming to that opinion. You also have to talk about what additional information you would need to come to that opinion. And even though these guidelines say it's permissible to do this, the text is still, I think, not fully in support of psychiatrists doing this. So their statements are that opinions rendered without a proper database, which is what we as psychiatrists rely upon to make diagnoses. And
by the way, I just wanted to thank all the Venmos that I've received. Ashley E, $10, Katrina, $20, Jacob, $5. Thank you guys so much for that. I really appreciate it.
With respect to these practice guidelines?
Yes, I did.
And what is your opinion?
Well, my opinion is that he did not follow those guidelines. So, for example, he did not have consent. He did not do even a basic evaluation of Mr. Depp. When he gave his opinions, as I just mentioned, he said they were opinions that he had to a degree of medical certainty, and he did not make any statements about what other additional information he would have wanted to make that opinion. So, for example, when asked about should neuropsychological
his eyes are getting
testing be
heavy.
performed, he said most patients don't have access to that, which is actually not at all true. I mean, every medical school has neuropsychologists that can do testing. So I think that was an unfortunate statement. So I think those are the primary ways in which the Goldwater Rule was violated, and the practice guidelines were not adhered to.
Dr. Shaw, yesterday Dr. Spiegel was talking about correlation and causation. What is the difference between correlation and causation?
Objections. It's not in his designation.
It is. We can approach and I can show you.
Okay.
All right.
Whoa. All right, so they approach. There they go, doing their thing.
That's correct.
Oh, hold on. Johnny Depp had a nice...
talking about.
Let's see if we can find that moment again.
Dr. Spiegel stated in his designation and at trial, yes, seeing the opinions of...
I think I lost it. All right. You see, there was a moment where we had Johnny Depp, I think, congratulating this lawyer behind him.
Water rule about having to interview the subject, right?
Yes.
And you understand that Dr. Spiegel, he's an expert. There's a court authorization for...
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have nothing further.
All right. Redirect.
The redirect. Let's just play the redirect and we'll get out of here.
Dr. Shaw, Mr. Nadelhoff just asked you about the court authorization of Mr. Depp's evaluation. Are you aware that the court has twice denied Ms. Heard's request for an evaluation of Mr. Depp?
I heard that yesterday in testimony, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further.
All right. Thank you, sir. You can either have a seat or you can leave. Thank you. Your next witness.
All right. So I think that's just I think we're gonna drop it off there with regards to covering today's trial. I'm gonna share some other clips, but what's really interesting is going to be this story right here, which we're gonna keep a close eye on. TMZ, the 30-mile zone, seeks to block Johnny Depp from calling ex-employee to testify. So I wonder which employee they're speaking of. TMZ filed an emergency motion on Tuesday seeking to block Johnny Depp from calling one of its former employees to testify at his defamation trial in Virginia. TMZ said it is seeking to protect a confidential source who had provided the outlet with a video of Depp yelling at ex-wife Amber Heard and slamming cabinets. Who is the source? Johnny Depp's team has indicated that it will call Morgan Tremaine, a former TMZ field assignment manager, as a witness on Wednesday. They have not said what Tremaine will be asked about. All right, well, we'll have to see what happens. Will the judge let this witness, testify or not? So much to find out here. All right. Let's see here. Johnny Depp's team has indicated that it will call him. TMZ's lawyers argued that the identity of its source should be protected under the journalist's privilege in Virginia law. The outlet also argued that Tremaine's testimony would be irrelevant to the question of whether Depp and Heard defamed each other. Well, I think it's relevant because, if she sold it to TMZ or leaked it to TMZ, what does that say about her, So Camille Vasquez suggested that Heard's team had tipped off TMZ when Heard went to court to obtain a restraining order against Depp in May of 2016. Amber Heard said she was shocked that photographers showed up and suggested that it was in fact Depp's divorce lawyer, Laura Wasser, who had close connections with TMZ. Which is it, folks? Somebody is lying. All right, I have a video premiering in 2 minutes. Are you guys ready for it? This video is going to premiere in 2 minutes, which means you can comment on the live chat there. 5 people are waiting already. How Kate Moss' testimony may seal the deal. I'm going to end my live stream now, and you guys can go check that out. Like I said, it's 4:28 Pacific time. This video is premiering in 60 seconds over there at 4:30 p.m. And let me know what you guys think. Again, it's demonetized because it's another video that has not been approved for monetization by YouTube. So I appreciate you guys so much for all of the support and all the super chats. Thank you guys so much. Time to go eat some sushi. I'll see you guys out there. Bye, everybody. Bye. Sushi time. $20,000 worth of sushi. Get in my belly. All right, guys. See you in the morning. Enjoy the next video. I appreciate all the support. Bye.